How's it going, YouTube? Got FourthStarTCG here, and welcome back to another Guardians Rising deck video. Today we are going over Alolan Ninetales GX. It is possibly the best looking card from the new expansion. Just looks absolutely beautiful. I am so happy that they printed this card. I know it's a huge fan favorite, so I'll be going over a deck list based around this card today. We'll go over the deck profile, and then we'll get some matches. So let's get right into the deck profile here. We have 4 copies of Alolan Vulpix. Now, Alolan Vulpix is possibly the best sort of Alolan pre-evolution. It has this wonderful free attack here, no energy at all. You get to search your deck for up to 2 Pokemon, reveal them, and put them into your hand. This is great for setting up your board state. It's also wonderful in the Garbodor matchup. The new Garbodor from Guardians Rising is possibly the best card in the format right now. Damage-wise, there's Shaman and Lele, which are great, but I think damage-wise, nothing beats Garbodor right now. So this allows you to search out your Pokemon without playing any item cards, which is fantastic in the Garbodor matchup. Now, we play 3 copies of Alolan Ninetales GX, a 210 HP Stage 1 Pokemon, which has 3 wonderful attacks. For a double colorless energy, we can use Ice Blade, which does 50 damage to any one of our opponent's Pokemon. For 2 water and a colorless, we can use Blizzard Edge for 160 damage, and we discard 2 energy from this Pokemon. And for another double colorless, we can use Ice Path GX, which is a amazing GX attack. We move all damage counters from this Pokemon to your opponent's active Pokemon. It's sort of like a better damage change because you move all your damage counters to the opponent's active Pokemon, but you don't switch the other opponent's back. So like if your opponent has 50 damage on them and you have 100, you heal 100 and do 100 to them. So it's in addition to whatever they have on them as well. So this is a great GX attack. It really makes our opponent afraid to hit Ninetales in the high damage ranges. Anything 150 plus, people are usually very scared of hitting Ninetales. It's not reusable like damage change, so there is a little bit of that aspect to it, but a late game Ice Path GX can really put your opponent at a disadvantage because it does damage and it heals you completely, which is wonderful. And we have a whole supporting cast built around Alolan Ninetales GX. We got 1 copy of Lapras GX, just too good not to play in the water list. Collect for an energy, we draw 3 cards. Blizzard Burn for 3 energy does 160, and we can't attack during our next turn. And Ice Beam GX for 2 water and a colorless does 100 and paralyzes our active Pokemon. This is really good in the early game, again versus the Garbodor matchup. We can draw without using cards, and we can use those attacks if we absolutely need to. We play 1 copy of Manaphy EX just for the free retreat. This is really nice. It just helps keep our deck mobile. It's nice for Ninetales, even though it only has 1 retreat. Since you're discarding energy, you really don't want to be discarding energy again to retreat. So keeping that 1 energy on Ninetales can be really nice. It's also nice for keeping our Tapu Leles, our Shamans, our Lapras mobile. It's just very helpful. Again, like Lapras, it's too good of a card not to play in this list. And onto our sort of draw standard in every deck cards. We got 2 copies of Shaman EX, pretty standard in every deck. You put this onto your bench, you draw 6 cards. And we got 1 Tapu Lele GX, which we can search our deck for a supporter card when we play it onto our bench. And Energy Drive does 20 damage times the amount of energy attached to both active Pokemon. It's a wonderful card. For our items and our trainers, we have 4 copies of the brand new Aqua Patch. This is just a great card in this list. It helps you set up really fast. It also helps late game with energy recovery if you get knocked out. It's just great to have the Aqua Patches ready to go, ready to power up your Ninetales. It really minimizes the effect of discarding those energy. We play 2 copies of Dive Ball, which allows us to search out all of our Pokemon, or all of our water Pokemon, not our Shamans and our Leles, but it allows us to get those basically for free, which is just wonderful. 1 copy of Escape Rope. Usually our deck is fairly mobile, but if something gets stuck up in the active and our opponent has Garbodor out, for example, we want to have some way to switch out of the active. And if our opponent has something in the active which has an effect on it, nice to use that escape rope as well. We play one copy of Field Blower, another new card from Guardians Rising, which allows us to discard 2 in any combination of Pokemon Tool cards and Stadium cards in play. This is really nice for getting rid of opposing Choice Band, also opposing Fighting Fury Belt, as our Ninetales with a Choice Band hits 190 versus EX and GX Pokemon. And this is fantastic versus stuff like Darkrai. You Field Blower, you get rid of their Fighting Fury Belt, and Choice Band will one-shot them. I went up against a Darkrai deck without Field Blower before I put it in this list, and I just completely lost because I was hitting 190 on them every turn, and they were living with 30 HP, and they were one-shotting me back. So Field Blower, an essential card in this list, probably a one of in every list right now. 1 Super Rod to get back our energy if too many are discarded or our Pokemon are discarded. 3 Trainer's Mail for consistency. 4 Ultra Ball for consistency. Another very standard list here. 4 VS Seeker for consistency. 4 Rough Seas for healing and hopefully to win the Stadium War versus our opponent. 1 copy of Hex Maniac to slow our opponent down. Stuff like Volcanion can pose an issue to this deck. With 2 Steam Ups, they can one-shot a Lapras. They have Choice Band now, so they can one-shot your Alolan Ninetales. So even though you one-shot them, they one-shot you. So it's sort of a trade back and forth. So versus Volcanion, Hex can really help us out. You'd think that Alolan Ninetales would win versus Volcanion, but that's not the case often. We play 2 copies of Lysander just to bring something up from the bench if we have to. 3 copies of N, fairly standard in a lot of lists right now. 1 copy of Professor Kukui, which allows us to increase our damage output. Really helpful versus some times when you don't have a Choice Band, you can hit 180 with Blizzard Edge. You can hit the active for 70 with Ice Blade, which is pretty good versus stuff like Trubbish. That's very useful sometimes. Just boosting your damage and drawing 2 cards, just a great thing for a lot of decks. 4 Sycamores, again for consistency. 3 Choice Band allows us, this is our Pokemon Tool card of choice, which allows us to hit EXs and GXs for an extra 30 damage. It's important to note that Ice Blade, if you target a benched EX or GX, it will not do the extra 30 damage because Choice Band only works on the active Pokemon. And now into our energy. We play 1 copy of Double Colorless Energy. This is really nice because it can surprise our opponent with an Ice Path GX. We just throw in Alolan Ninetales up there. They think that there's no way we can attach 2 energy. They hit us for a large amount of damage, and then we just slap down the Double Colorless, and we can surprise them there. It's also very useful for Blizzard Edge if we want to discard a DCE as opposed to 2 Waters, as it's much easier to just attach a Water next turn than find 2 Water energy. But the thing is that DCE also requires you to attack with 4 energy on you for Blizzard Edge, so that's why we aren't playing more than 1 copy of DCE, and 9 copies of Water Energy, just another fairly standard card. Of course, you play energy in every deck list, so we'll get a couple matches with Alolan Ninetales. Unfortunately for those Ninetales fans, Alolan Ninetales is really not a top tier deck. It's sort of a rogue play, if that. It's a solid GX card, but I really don't think it's going to make an impact on the metagame. So we'll see what my opponent is playing here. As we get an interesting start, at least we start with, we get the option to start with a Lapras. So we see Latios. Mega Latios could be really interesting. A turn 1 captivating Pokepuff would be harmful for us, I have to say. But we're going to see the Hoopa come out here. I wonder what my opponent's going to grab. Shaman, Latios, and Latios. So we could be seeing a Mega Latios list here. Latios is a really fun card. does 120. It can snipe Shamans. But I think with the loss of Target Whistle, sniping the Shamans has become a lot more difficult because you can't sort of KO a Shaman 3 times per game. Like I have an Ultra Ball in hand and my opponent just forfeits. 1 win for Alolan Ninetales. Lovely. Wow. They probably saw Lapras and thought we were just playing energy discard Lapras. We're not. But we'll get another match here. That's a victory though. We're definitely counting that as a victory. As we're playing Steel, Psychic, Colorless. This could be Mega Ray. Our Mega Ray matchup is a little difficult because we can't hit the high numbers to one-shot them. And they can fairly easily one-shot us. But that being said, we do have Lysanders. We do have 4 stadiums. So we can cap their damage at 150 if we can win the stadium war. But that being said, Ray also plays 4 Skyfield plus Puzzle of Time. So winning the stadium war versus Mega Ray is quite difficult. But yeah, Mega Ray has really been making a comeback here. Oh, it is Solgaleo Lunala. Wow. So we're going to cop the Rough Seas here. I don't really see a need to play it right now. I'm going to throw down an energy here, and we're going to N. So I assume we're seeing Solgaleo Lunala here. I'm going to Manaphy. I don't think my opponent has no way to attack me next turn. So I don't see any need to retreat here. I don't think my Vulpix is in danger. Yeah. Okay, we see a Lugia. That's good because it's something we can one-shot. Lugia and a Wally. Wally and a Cosmom. And a DCE down onto Oranguru. So, what we can do, we can Ninetales here. Choice Band, DCE, Lysander, hit this for 70 damage. 80 damage. I can't do math. That's why I'm a liberal arts major. But we're going to see Solgaleo GX come out here, which is, and we're going to probably see something like a Soul Burst GX. So that is very big. We see a Kukui as well, drawing 2 cards. Unfortunately, we haven't drawn into anything beyond that turn 1 N in terms of draw support. So see all sorts of energy coming out here. And this Solgaleo will one-shot us. Okay, another Alolan Vulpix. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to Escape Rope because this is just such a bad board state for us right now. We can pray our opponent doesn't have a Lysander. And this is the lovely thing about Alolan Vulpix. We can search cards for free. So Shaman, here you go. And our Tapu Lele is prized. I would grab it if I could. But yeah, Lapras really isn't going to be doing much this matchup. Everything dies to Solgaleo's Sunsteel Strike. I don't really see an option to get energy back though, which is interesting. So this could be a one-time thing with Solgaleo GX. But I'm going to see the Skyla here. That's nice because means we're not seeing a Lysander. Skyla for the Fighting Fury Belt. I assume that could either go down on the, yeah, the Oranguru. We're gonna get one shot anyway, so yeah, Psychic will do 70. And we're going to throw out our Alolan Ninetales GX. And of course we draw the Sycamore off of the top deck. I am going to play down the Shaman just because we are in such a bad position here. We really need as much possible. So we're going to grab another Alolan Ninetales here. And I thought we could evolve. We cannot. I am not a top tier TCG player. But yeah, we just played that down this turn, so of course we cannot evolve it. We're gonna die next turn anyway. Weighing the benefits of taking 50 damage here or knocking out this Oranguru. We can throw down the Lapras. We can collect, but I really don't see the benefit of that. Yeah, we're going to Blizzard Edge and take out this Oranguru. All of our energy is going to get discarded anyways due to Sunsteel Strike, so you do see the Rough Seas. It's a dead card in this matchup because Solgaleo will one-shot us. But discarding 3 energy, that's painful for him. We've already dropped 3 energy off the field as well. And we get End. Not too big of an issue. See a DCE here and a Shaman drop. I don't know why you would attach a DCE to Cosmog, as there is nothing Cosmog can do with a DCE. Sunsteel Strike is going to knock us out, do 460 damage. Now that is quite a bit. But we are going to go out to our Alolan Vulpix. Hopefully we can pull a Ninetales off of the top deck, but we are down 2. Do we have a Sycamore in the discard? We do. Or could end my opponent. I'm really hoping we pull something to grab an Alolan Ninetales, and we do not, which is really stinky. We do pull the Super Rod here. So back goes 2 Alolan Ninetales. I'm fine keeping the energy in the discard because we haven't played, we've played only 1 Aqua Patch. So we're going to throw all of that back in the deck. It was a long shot, but we are just going to retreat out into our Lapras. This is just going to need to take a hit for us here. As not hitting the Ninetales kind of stinks, but we see Energy Recycler. Wow. So 4 Steel Energy going back into the deck for my opponent, and a Sycamore. Yeah, I am still kind of perplexed as to why DCE went down here on the Cosmog, but my opponent pulls another Solgaleo out of here. That would be... yeah, so they're going to probably Rare Candy here into Solgaleo GX. Ultra Roading into Lugia. There's just so much energy on the field. Quite rough. But we are going to Rough Seas here heal some damage. We need to attach to the Lapras in order to retreat. Choice Band. So we're really hoping for the Alolan Ninetales plus the Aqua Patch, which will allow us to... Okay, there we go, and we hit it, which is lovely. So we get the energy onto this. We throw down the Alolan Ninetales, and we get to retreat and take some prizes with Blizzard Edge. So we do 190, a little bit of overkill on this Lapras, but we are going to take 2 prizes here. We get the Field Blower and the Water Energy. Cosmog comes out. We see the Steel Energy. I assume we see VS Seeker for... and Sycamore, Skyla for the rare candy. Smart, smart, smart. So my opponent is going to pick up a knockout here. Yeah. I could have end there to end them out of the Solgaleo that I knew they had, but it really just wasn't a possibility. But my opponent has no energy on the field right now, so that is something that is important to note. We're going to attach down here. We're going to Rough Seas, and our Lysanders are fairly useless here. 5, 6, 7 energy. We can get rid of another Ultra Ball. There's really nothing we can do here. 2 Aqua Patches and 2 energy left in the deck. Really don't see the need to do anything here. There's not much we can do. I'm just going to collect as we pull the Dive Ball, and yeah. So my opponent has no energy on the field. What I want is an energy, because then I can Lysander out this Lugia and take some prizes. We see the Parallel City drop, getting rid of a Shaman. Totally fine. VS Seeker for Sycamore, I assume. That's a clutch VS Seeker there from my opponent. So I'm really hoping for one of our 2 energy left in the deck. And we've already used our Super Rod. We can Aqua Patch. I think have we used our Escape Rope? Yeah. So we do have the Aqua Patches which are there, which we can use if we desire, but see an energy come down onto the Solgaleo. They're going to need 3 turns of attachment. So we see a Sycamore. I could end them down to 1. I feel like that's the best play. I'm not going to pull out an Alolan Ninetales here. I think N is just the best play. Get my opponent down to 1 card, as we do come up with the Water Energy. So I can Blizzard Burn. I can Blizzard Burn, or I can just collect. I think collect is just the best play. Hitting this for 190 really doesn't do much for me, because he can just Ultra Road. He's never letting this get knocked out, as he hits the energy off of our end to 1. And he hits the Stadium, so N plus Stadium, and we don't pull a VS Seeker off of our collect. So this is unfriendly here. We can get rid of the Rough Seas And we're just going to Ice Beam GX. It puts him in range, and we can attack next turn. That's really the main thing I'm looking for. Why does he pull everything? He gets everything, and there's the energy, and that's game. Man. He got everything he needed, like the Clutch Lily, the Clutch Energy off of the 1-card N. Yeah, so my opponent, we were so close in this matchup, I feel. But unfortunately, we were not able to come away with the win. We'll get one more game with Alolan Ninetales in this video. Hopefully, I'll be able to win like an actual game, not one where our opponent forfeits in the first couple seconds. And we're going to face someone who is a lot of fun at parties, I would assume. Oh, what a lovely start. What a lovely start. We have no supporter, so we're going to start Manaphy. We start like 3 of our support Pokemon in our hand. Okay, so they start Shaman. Yep, someone who's very fun at parties. So, yep, we're going up against Decidueye Vileplume, possibly one of the best decks in the format. This is not a matchup that Alolan Ninetales is favored in. Yeah. So we're going to see... That's probably all of my opponent's energy there. All of their grass energy. Which is important because their Decidueyes won't be doing anything. Okay, so okay. So they're not... Maybe they're a little fun at parties. Not very. Lurantis, Vileplume. I'm not a big fan of Vileplume decks. Oh boy. This is why we didn't start Tapu Lele. So we're going to Lele for the N here. There's really... I wish we could use that Lele later for something like a Hex Maniac, but there's stuff we really need here. Hopefully we get a Vulpix and an Energy. We get a Vulpix and an Escape Rope, which is close enough. And we'll Dive Ball, get out another Vulpix here. We want to play all of our item cards down because our opponent already has a Gloom. So we want to get everything out of the discard pile. And we're going to Beacon for... What? Double Alolan Ninetales, I think, probably. So we can get those both out next turn. But yeah, this is how this deck is supposed to work. We are not weak to grass, which is nice. But yeah, so we see the Gloom coming out again. Our Rough Seas is going to be nice as we heal. As I assume they're going to get out the Vileplume this turn. They probably have it in hand, I would think. You see the Lysander on the Manaphy and Flower Supply. So no, this gives us another turn of items. I don't know if I would have made that play. Because this does give us another turn of the item cards that are so precious. We're going to end. There's nothing else we can do. An Ultra Ball would be lovely here. You see the Field Blower. Really don't want to let our Manaphy go down. We'll scare him with Ninetales' Ice Path GX. As we see the Acrobike here. I wish we had some water energy in the discard. Get our Aqua Patches going, but yeah. See a Trainer's Mail. Getting the Float Stone. So that's going to go down. I assume we're going to see a Vileplume this turn. Lysander on the Manaphy. And Flower Supply. And again, no... So this is not really a problem for me. Or at least it is a problem. We're ridiculously behind. We have no energy, and our opponent is playing a fantastic deck. But we get to Field Blower this. Aqua Patch. And energy down here. I'm hoping to hit like an Ultra Ball and another energy. Unfortunately, we do not. I can Shaman here. Kukui's gotta go. Gonna grab our Shaman. Looks like our other Shaman is prized, unfortunately. We'll throw our Manaphy back. And Shaman for 3. Okay, lovely. So we Ultra Ball away Rough Seas and a Water Energy in order to get our Manaphy. We Acro Patch. And we Lapras, Manaphy, Retreat, and Ice Blade, the active. Hitting this for 80 damage, fairly good. It's going to be a 3-shot on this. It would be a 3-shot on a Shaman too, so why not hit something that is it's a little bit more of a threat. We're going to see a Sycamore from my opponent. Please tell me like both of their Vileplumes are prized. That would be lovely. So we do see the double heads from my opponent. So the Vileplume, Gloom. Are both their Vileplumes prized? Please tell me. Oh, that would be so hilarious. Forest of Giant Plants. They're the Vileplume. Okay. So Solar Blade hits us for 120. We really need a Rough Seas here, I believe. We're going to Professor Sycamore. But we can also Blizzard Edge, which picks up the KO. Yeah. Blizzard Edge will pick up the KO, definitely. I'm just thinking of... because then this comes in and that's another threat. But I think this is just what we need to do. Ice Path GX will not kill this. So we can't use that, unfortunately. So we're just going to Blizzard Edge here. Take out this... Lurantis GX, and we're going to take some prizes here. VS Seeker and Lysander. Lysander's not bad. We can stall something in the active. Unless we get End. That's pretty painful. And we can't play our Aqua Patches now, but we did already put 3 in the discard, so I needed this last turn. So Solar Blade is going to knock us out, unfortunately. Hitting us for 240 damage. And we see the Sycamore. Pretty good. Can't play the Choice Band, unfortunately, due to the lack of energy. But we are just going to Ice Blade the active. We only have 3 energy in the discard, 2 here. Lysander on the Manaphy for game. Chloroscythe GX because my opponent is cool. And Solar Blade definitely wouldn't have picked up the KO. But hey, everyone can show off now and then. So there we go. Those are our games with Alolan Ninetales. Unfortunately, we lost twice and we picked up our only win on an opponent who just forfeited right away. But I feel like this also shows off Alolan Ninetales really well. It is not a top tier deck. I think the meta right now is not really suited to a stage 1 Pokemon that can only hit those high damage numbers in an environment that's flooded with Pokemon that can really take advantage of it. So I think Alolan Ninetales has a lot of potential. I think it's going to get better as time goes on, as we get stuff like Tapu Koko, the promo that does like 20 damage to all of your opponent's Pokemon. Ice Blade is going to become a really good attack, 50 damage to anything on the field. Yeah, so thank you guys for watching. I will be back with more Guardians Rising deck coverage very soon, so thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and stick around for more videos.